Today and become a part of this educational community of traders, just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, folks, thanks for joining me here at TFNN. I wanted to talk a little bit about Tesla. You know, folks, I don't do stocks. I really don't. I mean, in a year, I might do 2 puts, you know, 1 put, 1 call, something like that. But I really just not set up for it. I don't like it. I'm futures and Forex, get along just fine with it. Someone asked me a question about Tesla, and it was trading pre-market at around 277. The 618 was 276. The ABCD was there, and I said as long as it doesn't get above 281, it probably, you know, it has a chance to be a top. Well, what happened when it opened? I want to bring up the chart and show you what happened, because when the chart did open, hold on here just a second. There we go. You can see what happened here. This is where we were back on Monday, the 3rd, a couple days ago, when we were supposed to be closed, but there was probably a lot of trading going on that day. But let's take a look at this stock here, because what was interesting is the people that bought the puts when it was trading at 277 3/4, well, the market was rallying up to 284. They weren't losing. Now, I don't know what happened today, but I told them as long as we don't get above, there's today's action right there. You see, we almost took out that high, but we haven't, and we certainly could. But that it's all about risk control, because if it gets above that, this gap, of course, was based on the fact that they're going to deliver 50,000 semi trucks. I'm really interested where these trucks are going to go and get the energy to send them down the road. This is what I don't understand. I see lines here in Tucson, these folks that have Teslas and some of these other cars that you can't hear, they have to wait 45 minutes, and it's not cheap. You know, I mean, it costs a lot of money for that electricity. So I don't know the answer to it, but I never trust a car that you can't hear. I've got a classic car that's got a nice V8 engine that you can hear it coming from about a block away, and I don't plan to change it at all. Runs great, and I really like it. I was not going to buy an electric car. Knock on wood, probably tomorrow I'll have to buy one, but we'll just have to wait and see. Now let's take a look at a couple of charts. Last week I made a big deal about the Dow Jones E-mini. Let's get this up here so we can see it, and we'll get up here. Folks, I'm going to be doing a live show here at the end of July, early August, trading show, 5 hours, and I wish it would have been today, because we had a really good day today. But anyway, if you'll notice here, there was the exact 1.618 expansion up there at 34,000, 34,000, whatever that, 34,620, no, it's 34,712. And we went short at 36,646, I believe. And the low today was an exact 0.382 of the low we made back here. I mean, that was just really absolutely amazing. That stopped it. We rallied back to the 61% retracement. But the $64 question is, what do I do? And I said in the video last night and again this morning, I don't know what's going to happen. Put your stop at break even. We're in a free trade now. At one time, yes, it did have $1,000 in it, but this is one of those times where I think you have to look just a little forward down the road, and it might get you a little bit more. It's really a good situation now, because you had the break, and now you're at a break-even situation, and that is the really telltale sign that when you're looking at these things, it'll really give you a pretty good idea that it's all about risk control. I want to share with you a couple of charts here. One comes from our good friend over in the Valley of the Sun over there in Las Vegas. Let me get this up here so we can take a quick look at it. This shows you the savings. I don't know anything about this, but the gentleman that sent this to me, Mr. TB, really understands this stuff. So I just want to bring this up to you, and it shows what's happening to people and their savings. And you'll notice here that they says here sometime in pretty soon that they're going to be running out of savings. Well, part of that is because, the credit cards now, the interest rates have jumped up quite a bit, and a lot of people live off their credit cards are going to be hurt with that too. So whether that means anything with the market or not, I don't know, but it's an interesting statistic that I wanted to share with you, okay? That's the only reason I shared with you is because of interest. The ones that interest me are the ones I can see, and I want to show you one that I really like, and this is Mr. Appel, who's down by the well. This stock, it does not have one person that thinks it can go down, folks. Of all the people that follow this stock, there's not one person that says it'll go down. There's one person that says it's not hold, it's either buy. There's no short sell, no liquidate, nothing like that. But there was one person that said overpriced or whatever it was. But stop and think. Every single analyst, 100 and some of them, are all saying that it's going to go higher. We left this big gap up in here. Now, this is what I thought Tesla did. Now, Apple did leave a gap because I double-checked that. So if it gets to a point here in the next day or two where Apple doesn't go screaming above this 193 level or 1093, whatever it is, if we can just stay there in an area, that's a pattern known as the three hanging crows. It's really rare, and you don't see it very often. But boy, when you do, pay attention, because what that is it traps a whole people. It's just the opposite of an island reversal pattern, folks. And that's a real key one to pay very, very close attention to here today as we're looking at some of these stocks unfold. Another one that looks interesting, of course, was the NASDAQ. I want to bring this up to you today and to show you this is the NASDAQ that we were looking at last week. It was the same thing, same type of pattern. Nothing more than a Gartley. That's all it is. And as we were looking at it, you can see all the things were done. Well, we were up today at one time, overnight on Sunday. Let me see, this is the third. Last night, we were up about 30 or 40 points in the NASDAQ. We could not take out the highs of that when we were back here. Okay. So that was back on the 30th. And so so far it's doing okay, and it's been down most of the morning, but not very much. I mean, there's really the market's not doing very much at all. So you've got to say that looks really, really interesting. So I hope that gives you some information of what we're looking at. We're going to have a guest, as I mentioned before. Grace Morris will join us at the break. I need to check one more chart before we get here. We're going to take a trip across the pond here before we have our break. And first place we're going to go is to the UK, and we're going to look at the FTSE. You can see that this market is in a downtrend. There's no question about it. It's different than the US, and as you can see, it's been rolling over, and we had some beautiful Gartleys in here. Just one today up there that was really quite nice. And then if we switch over, go across the channel a little bit, and move up a little bit north of England, we'll come up to the old German area, and you'll be able to see that. Look at all these beautiful ABCDs that Alan drew out for us, folks. These are, ABCD is the way to be. I keep this thing really simple, but by golly, it works. And there it is, folks. We're heading down to this way, I believe, in the DAX. So let's pay attention. 877-927-6648. We'll be right back.
Tigers and Tigresses, get ready for our annual 4th of July Tiger Dollar Sale. From now until July 7th, you can receive a 20, 30, or even a 40% bonus when you purchase Tiger Dollars. Tiger Dollars are automatically applied to your account and can be used for all subscriptions and purchases. Don't wait, this sale ends July 7th. Visit TFNN.com today to purchase Tiger Dollars and receive a 20, 30, or even a 40% bonus. As an added bonus, every order comes with a special TFNN mug. Happy 4th, Tigers. TFNN, educating investors.
Currencies, commodities, and bond markets are as important as ever right now with how they're driving the volatility in equity markets across the globe, which is why it's a great time to try out Teddy Cakestat's Tiger Forex Report. Teddy Cakestat breaks down the Forex markets every Monday using his 30-plus years of experience as a trading veteran of futures, Forex, stocks, and options. Teddy releases his weekly Tiger Forex Report every Monday morning with coverage of all the major currency pairs, including the dollar index, the euro dollar, pound dollar, dollar Swiss, dollar yen, as well as many more, and he also has weekly coverage of the crude oil market and the 30-year T-bonds, as they both influence Forex markets tremendously. When you sign up for the Tiger Forex Report, you also gain instant access to Teddy's 60-minute webinar archive he just hosted, Forex Strategies and Fundamentals, What is Behind the Tiger Forex Report. For all the details and to start your 30-day Tiger Forex Report subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Are you looking for a way to consistently add winning trades to your portfolio? Tom O'Brien is here to help. Tom O'Brien has been successfully trading markets for over 30 years. A frequent contributor to TD Ameritrade Network and CNBC, Tom O'Brien founded TFNN over 20 years ago to help educate investors just like you. Tom's daily market newsletter, Market Insights, is published every morning when the markets open to give you the competitive informational edge you need to succeed. These newsletters are packed full of Tom's advanced technical analysis and are geared to deliver comprehensive strategies for a successful portfolio. Get Tom O'Brien's newsletter, Market Insights, today and try all of our products and newsletters 30 days risk-free with our money-back guarantee at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Okay, we're back, folks. I posted a chart here of the E-mini S&P, and on the bottom of it, you'll notice here that there's a little circles. There's quarter moons, half moons. Full moon, of course, is empty. That's a clear circle. The red dot, that means it's a new moon. Okay, now, for some reason, when you're doing E-mini, and if you don't do this work yourself, folks, if you want to, if you don't believe it, but go back and look and see how often within a day or two that these markets have pretty good turns during that time. Does it work all the time? Of course not. But when you add it to some of these Fibonacci numbers that we're looking at, boy, I'll tell you, it's pretty exciting. And I get a lot of heat from people saying, you don't talk about astrology too much, and I don't for 2 reasons. One, I'm a little afraid of it. Well, a little afraid is the understatement of the year. Second thing is I don't quite understand it. That's why I have people on like Shane Smolian, Norm Winsky, Tim Boss, Bill Meridian. I'm sure I'm missing somebody else in here, but all of these folks are, they know a little bit about this and a lot more than a little bit. And I know that the answer to these markets would be astrological, and that's one of the things on my bucket list is to be able to see it. But that's not the thing that's important to me, folks. The thing that's important to me is the ABCD pattern. I mean, I look at this every day. I look at it every night. I look at it every morning. I rather do that than I rather trade than I play poker. And the reason why is I'm better at trading than I am at playing poker. But I enjoy it, and I'm not right all the time. I don't profess to be, but I knew back in 1977 when I was at Drexel after my first year and a half that I had the key to what I needed to make a living for the rest of my life. And I am not rich, but I am rich because rich is what you have when you don't have anything else to buy, and so I'm okay. I'm not a multi-millionaire or anything like that, but I've helped a lot of people along the way, and that's part of what you're supposed to be doing on this earth too. It's not the price of the old bumper sticker in California. He who dies with the most toys wins. That's total baloney, folks. That you know better than that than anything else. But anyway, that's what I focus on. I'm short term. I like 3, 4, 5 day patterns. That's why when I get into something like someone asked me a question about Tesla and Apple and some of these others, and then I made the mistake of bringing this trade up for the Dow Jones E-mini, and I said, thank God I've got a break-even trade in it now, because I was really concerned. We were up $1,000 at one time, and we gave well over $500 back. Now it's come back down a little bit, but we're still hanging in there okay, and it's just a pattern. That's all it is. The problem is when you give the advice like this and you follow through with it, you have to remember that everybody's a little bit different. Because this morning when the market opened down and started to come down really hard early in the morning just before the open, there at around 9 o'clock New York time, we had just made the 382 retracement of the last major low. Now that 382 retracement on the E-mini S&P came in at 44.61. Well, we only got down to 44.65 was the low. So to me, that's 5 points that should have made it. And so maybe there's already a big bottom in place here, and we're ready to go higher. I don't know the answer to these questions. We rallied all the way back to the 61% retracement on the S&P, and we did it also in the Dow Jones. It went up there also. So it's very interesting, when you look at these patterns, and that's what I do. I don't profess to try to predict out what's going to happen. When I do look at big patterns, like I'm looking at Tesla and Apple, I feel really strongly about that, but I don't trade stocks at all. I just bring it to your attention for, just to look at it. That's all. And if you get a pattern out of it, that's fine. But I know one thing. You're not going to risk very much, because whenever I say anything to anybody, I always tell them where I'm wrong. And when Tesla went above the 281, was only, stop and think, folks, from 277 to 281, that's $4. That's a quarter. Oh, that's got so many zeros on it. It's not even anywhere near 1%. 4 points on a $270 stock. Are you kidding me? Hello, operator. That's nothing. And that's what trading's all about. Keep your losses small. Let your profits run. That's what the old adage is from our good friend Edwin Lefevre, also known as Jesse Livermore. All right, now let's move on. I want to make a couple of comments here about a few things that are going on in the market. Just a second, I have to bring up the chart. Only take me a little second here, and we'll take a look at it. One is this gold market. Let's get this over here so we'll be able to see it. We did complete this. I want to go through the sequence of numbers that we've had in gold so far since making this bottom last Thursday. We were able to buy it down there at 1908. We got out of it at 1918. Today's high was 1942. That was a 382 retracement off of this high right here. And so we had to watch it very, very closely there, because we have to start getting above 1930 and closing above there for it to start a nice run. But the fact that it held it perfectly is a good sign. But the problem is, you see right there lurking in the shadows is this large A, B, C, D pattern right here. Look what happened the last time we hit the 382 retracement on this move way back here, folks. You see that? Look at that. Then we hit it again, and yet the market didn't do that. This went $100. That jumped $100 in just a matter of, what, 5 or 6 days? This has only gone $36 in 4 or 5 days. So that's telling you that, that's what you're possibly looking at. That's why you've got to be looking at. Folks, the trading is so much like poker, it's unbelievable. But in poker, there's 3 things when you're playing Texas Hold'em, okay? Pattern, position, and probability. The pattern is which are the 2 cards that you get, okay? You get 3 cards at the front, you get 2 in your hand, and the 2 in your hand are very important. They have to add up to 20. In other words, 2 tens, a 10 and an ace, something like that. But if you play those high cards, you're going to be better off. Now, some people play low cards, but the odds are against those people, and they're going to be losers longer term, because if a person's trying to make a low hand and someone's got a big hand out there, you can win occasionally, but it's dangerous. But anyway, this is what we're looking at. And the other thing is that you're looking at is the position of where you are. Because when you're playing poker and you're the last person to act, Oh my God, what an edge that is. That's why the button rolls around, where the dealer is, so everybody gets a turn of being last to act, because acting last is just an absolute easy thing to do. If you have a terrible hand and everybody checks and you're last and you bet, you're going to win that pot probably 60% of the time, and you don't even have anything. I had that happen over the weekend a few times. I was able to play in the tournament Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I lost on the Sunday tournament. My very first hand. Oh, we got to be. Anyway, I did really good on the second and third day. Had a lot of fun. Well rested. Was looking forward to the show today and everything, and especially with Grace as our guest. We'll be here in 4 minutes. Grace Morris, Astroeconomics. We'll be right back.
The Gold Report. As a precious metal, gold is still king. It continues to hold the most effective safe haven and hedging properties across the global major trading hubs of the London OTC market, the U.S. futures market, and the Shanghai Gold Exchange. The Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his weekly gold report every Monday morning for subscribers, consisting of coverage of the XAU, HUI, GDX, the dollar, bonds, the South African rand, as well as 25 different mining equities with specific buy-sell recommendations. The Gold Report. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Subscribe to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report newsletter now at TFNN.com.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com. Educating investors. Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Folks, we have in the house today Grace Morris of Astroeconomics. That's my only in America can you do the timing that well. How are you, Grace?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Oh my goodness, I can't believe it's been 40 years. I mean, we've talked once or twice, but Grace
I won't admit to that, but
oh yeah. Well, anyway,
if you
Grace,
do, it's okay with me.
Grace used to put on astro seminars up in the north side of Chicago at the Swiss Hotel. Is that what it was? Was Swiss Hotel?
Hotel Sofitel was one of our...
Yeah, that's what it was. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Right,
Anyway,
right.
how many, you did 5 or 6 of those together that I was a guest?
Absolutely.
I remember it was quite a few,
We started out in Chicago with mostly traders from the Chicago Board of Trade and bankers and commodities at that time. And then we ended up going around the world, Singapore and Sydney, Australia, London.
Yeah, you have one of the most exemplary stock trading records that I've ever seen, and you do everything just by the astro charts, don't you? You don't do regular technical charts like I do you?
Well, yes, I do use IBD, the Market Smith. I would describe astroeconomics in a triangle from fundamental, technical, and planetary cycle analysis.
Uh-huh.
And if you have a solid company and the technicals are very good, then I have a pattern planetary-wise, you have that much more information. I think that's why we're ahead of the game.
Well, I know you have the your chart up, which I know that Bill Meridian follows this stuff very closely, along with Norm Winsky. Is the first day of trading. You want to tell the folks what that means? Because most of the folks here understand a little bit of astrology. They're like me; they're afraid of it. But,
of course. In fact, when we went to Singapore, we had to use the term natural cycles, and that was 20 years ago. But and yet they were still using it. There were, I think, about 80 bankers from the Singapore area at that conference, and they definitely were familiar with planetary cycles. But we set up a time for when the stock first trades, and I've worked with clients for years. I write the Right Time newsletter, and so I've helped many clients be part of the process for their IPO as well as their first trade. And in Chicago, it used to be they would fly to Springfield. Then it was done in Chicago. And, of course, going to Dover, Delaware for incorporation charts was a very common thing in working with businesses.
I know it's Alfie Lavoie has made a lifetime income from doing these charts. He has PepsiCo and so many other 7-Eleven. He tells them where to put their stores, when to open them and stuff. I mean, it's truly amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
My most memorable thing was I when I was born in Indiana, Clinton, Indiana, back in the days of World War I and World War II. I was born on 28th of July, but we don't know the time. We just knew my aunt would tell me we were born at night, but I don't remember what time it was. And Bill Meridian and Victoria Martin did a rectification of my chart. I don't even know what that means, but they both came up within 5 minutes of when I was born, which was 11:55 on the 28th of July at night.
And you found that was to be accurate? That's wonderful. I do that with every personal client. Every business I work with, I do not start my analysis until I have rectified and make sure that I have an exact time. It's very important if you want the right information.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
No, I still talk to Victoria Martin, but we lost Jeannie Long and Ruth Miller and a whole bunch of other people these past few years. But boy, we used to have good. We had so much fun at those seminars. It was really great. I remember the one in seminar because Robert. What was Jeannie Long's husband? Yeah, Robert Krause was. He was there. We were. Yeah, and he was trading bonds that day, and Bill Meridian and I were sitting in the back of the room, and we said, boy, he's really an interesting speaker. And then a year later, he dies of a heart attack. I mean, my God, he's such a young man. Yeah, just
yes. Yeah, that was a shock.
Yeah, it sure was. Well, let's get off the death part. I've got too much of that going around me now. That's a bad part of getting older. My God, you lose so many friends. I know you have too, but holy cow!
Absolutely. It's very
not much fun. Yeah. Okay, tell us what you're looking at now. First of all, I know we're going to have quite a few more minutes here, but how do folks reach you, Grace, if they would like to get a copy of your newsletter? What's the best way for them to reach you?
Well, absolutely. Go to our website, astroeconomics.com, and just request a free copy of the newsletter, and we'll be glad to send it on.
Okay. Now you've given us the chart here, a price line. What the last time I checked, this was like $1,600.
There is a secret formula. This is why so many of the major, particularly tech stocks, that any stock that goes over $1,000, price line, of course, is bookings, and it is at 2,600 and something. It's still in my newsletter. I put it in at $151 way back in 909, and those days we could talk about too. But there, as I discovered in working with the business charts, there is a secret formula. So you may want to hold on to your chair and find out what that formula is. But it's a combination of Sun, Jupiter, and Pluto. And in the first trade chart for price line, it's a Sun-Jupiter conjunction trining Pluto. And it just roared up as so many that have that combination. Tesla is another example, although so many of them that are in our recommended list have this combination. I purposely look for that each month when I put in recommended stocks, especially the new IPOs. By the way, the next day where we could get this combination formula is going to be September 15th, if you want to put that on the calendar. Anybody listening?
You're going to be my guest on September the 15th, okay?
Uh-huh.
I'm going to write that down right now, September the 15th.
Well,
hey, that's a new moon. That's a new moon, too.
Well, how about that? And whatever, you just keep an eye on those that start to trade that day, and if they don't have good fundamentals, you might as well forget it. But if they're looking good, all around.
Okay, stay with us. We've got to pay a few bills, Grace. No, stay with us. We'll be right back with Grace Morris, folks. Astroeconomics. Stay tuned.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Are you looking for a way to consistently add winning trades to your portfolio? Tom O'Brien is here to help. Tom O'Brien has been successfully trading markets for over 30 years. A frequent contributor to TD Ameritrade Network and CNBC, Tom O'Brien founded TFNN over 20 years ago to help educate investors just like you. Tom's daily market newsletter, Market Insights, is published every morning when the markets open to give you the competitive informational edge you need to succeed. These newsletters are packed full of Tom's advanced technical analysis and are geared to deliver comprehensive strategies for a successful portfolio. Get Tom O'Brien's newsletter, Market Insights, today. And try all of our products and newsletters 30 days risk-free with our money-back guarantee at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Okay, we're back, folks. We're speaking with Grace Morris of Astroeconomics out of Chicago, Illinois. You're not in Chicago, though, weren't you? Out of Oak Park?
No, for 25 years, my office was in Oak Brook, Illinois, overlooking the McDonald's campus, and I'm now in Boca Raton, Florida.
Oh, Boca Raton. You're down there with all the rich people. That's
there's
good.
A lot.
Do you like it down there?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah. And
TFNN.
I love my clients all over the world, particularly working with businesses. And since I'm also a psychotherapist, it helps interpreting the personal chart of the client who's either the CEO or wanting information about the company. And before I start using the business chart, I want to be sure we have the accurate information.
Okay, that's really good. It's really nice to talk to you because, my gosh, we had so much fun through all those years. I mean, it just and then after you get busy and you just forget, and then and of course I basically just do futures and commodities, and of course you do stocks, but you've had an incredible record. You've had an incredible record.
Everybody was into commodities at the very first conferences I did, and through the 1990s, and then the interest seemed to change to stock. And my specialty is really picking favored sectors, and this has worked just amazingly. We have shifted, as an example, this year, when I wrote my book for this year, saying that the techs would be absent the first 6 months of the year, and they sure were. But in May, we'd have a terrific month, and the techs would come back. And so many things. I was noticing today, steel, a stock that was down now. In the last year, the steel stocks, basic materials, did extremely well. Well, we've made a shift, and the shift is so noticeable that, as I said, not only are the tech stocks back after being absent the first 6 months of the year, but they're going to keep going the rest of the year. And economically, we're really in a pretty good place. This is going to be a good earnings season. And inflation and the indicators of the good economy, the GDP going up to 2%, and all of those for the gloom and doomers have missed great opportunities this year and could continue to miss them if they give up now. Keep going.
Well, listen, you've done a really good job. And listen, I have a question from one of our listeners that just come in. Do you do anything on the geopolitical front, like a war or?
Absolutely.
What do you see there?
Well, let me, without being too technical, I try and workshops to keep it basic because most of my clients don't know astrology. They want the bottom line. But the Jupiter and Aries cycle was, which went from middle of last year to the middle of this year, was predominantly military and, as I said, basic materials. And this has all shifted. In fact, we may be seeing some important changes, not only in military equipment, and now we're in with Jupiter and Taurus for the next year. Food, restaurants have really popped up, including Wingstop, and the beauty items like ELF Beauty, and and banks will really come back even greater when they finally have fixed, maybe with different regulations, and the financial sector are doing well. It's like clockwork. When the shift goes from one sign to the next, the sectors change, and I've watched this for 30 years, so I'm a great believer.
Well, I know you are, and you've done a great job at it. Listen, we're going to have you on again next month, and we're certainly going to have you on September the 15th, that's for sure.
That's great.
Okay. Hey, listen, thanks for joining us, and tell your lovely daughter. I'm not going to go into the story, the lovely daughter, because it's embarrassing. I have to tell it now since I let it out of the box. I really put the moves on Grace's daughter 40 years ago.
Did.
And my grandma always said, always have a pocket full of quarters when you're on the bus. Try to, I found the right girl that said she didn't take the quarters.
Well, I was going to say, Larry, your sense of humor and your knowledge and expertise has always been a pleasure to know someone as neat as you.
Just couldn't convince the little princess, though. That was the tough one.
Yeah.
Anyway, she did the right thing. She didn't want to have an old salty dog like me.
Oh,
anyway,
you were always a handsome guy, and I'm sure you still at it this point.
I still have two of my own teeth, and I can still get up in the morning by myself, so I'm doing okay. Yeah.
Yes,
hey, listen, thanks for joining us, and we'll have you on again next month, maybe but for sure the 15th of September. Put it on your docket.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
Grace
you.
Morris, folks, Astroeconomics. Just go in, astroeconomics.com, and this lady is a class act. She's not only very smart, but she's very funny, and she's got a wonderful heart, and is a terrific astrologer besides that. So anyway, it's really a lot of memories coming back there, but oh my goodness. Okay, she could have been my mother-in-law, for God's sake. I can't believe that. Anyway, no, that was not even a chance. Anyway, it was one of those things that she was sure a good-looking girl, though. My goodness. All right, let's take a quick look at a couple of markets. The gold market, folks. I've already talked about the gold market. We just made a 382 retracement up here at about 1930 per ounce. We're now down to 1926. We got as high as, we said, 1942. That was a perfect ABCD. We sent that out as a sale. The problem was when it hit 1942, it hit the stop sign and started down. By the time the folks got the newsletter or the video, that was trading around 1936. I know some people still sold it there and made $1,000, but if you're not in there at the beginning, these things are so volatile that you've got to be right there when things are happening to really take advantage of it. The bonds worked out absolutely. It was a perfect one into bonds. I think I could probably. I'm going to bring this up here so you can see it, because we always talk about the 382 retracements in the bonds. And I want to get this up here. Hold on. Oh, dear. There we go. Uh-oh, something's wrong. I got to do this. Cancel this. Okay. All right, here it comes. It's coming now, I hope. Nope, it's not coming now. I did something wrong. No, here it is. I think this, go live. Maybe this will be the one. There it is. There's what we talked about this morning. Look at this. We had the break in the bonds. They stay here for 2 days exactly at the 382. They've dropped almost $2,000. We're heading down to this level. Bonds have been bearish for a long time, and they're going to get more bearish. We're going to take a break. 877-927-6648.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Tigers and Tigresses, get ready for our annual 4th of July Tiger Dollar Sale. From now until July 7th, you can receive a 20, 30, or even a 40% bonus when you purchase Tiger Dollars. Tiger Dollars are automatically applied to your account and can be used for all subscriptions and purchases. Don't wait, this sale ends July 7th. Visit TFNN.com today to purchase Tiger Dollars and receive a 20, 30, or even a 40% bonus. As an added bonus, every order comes with a special TFNN mug. Happy 4th, Tigers. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Okay, folks, as usual, I want to put up the chart that I think is the most important this week. This is the one on the Dow Jones Industrial Average, making the 78% retracement from the high on June 16th. And so that's a pretty big run. Now we backed off just exactly to the 382 today. That comes in at 434,530. And if we start closing below that, then that's pretty much what's happening in gold right now. Gold has just turned negative it's still up on the day, but it's still turning negative from what we're watching as far as a movement to the downside. That should take us down somewhere around 1917 in the gold. But the key here is this Dow Jones, because, folks, if we get above this level right here, you just heard Grace Morris on about how bullish she is. That could be extremely bullish. And we get gap ups like we've had in Apple and some of these others. I mean, there could be things out there that this old technician hasn't seen before. That's why I am very, very nervous. You know, like, remember old Don Adams from Get Smart, looking at danger and loving it. Well, by golly, that's what you're doing when you're in the short side of some of these things here, because this trend has been so strong and you want to protect yourself. That's why you keep your chips close to your vest, and you'll be able to find a spot here or there where you can get in without risking very much at all. So therein lies the key, folks. It's not how much money you make. It's about how much money you don't risk. That's the same thing in poker. You don't want to bet everything, because if you lose, you're out of the game. So you always got to, keep some chips in reserve for when you need them. And the people that make it to the limit or make it to the payoff table, the last 8 or 9 people, those are the people that can manage their money the best. Sure, there's a couple of wild cowboys in there that are going to, take all the chips occasionally, but most of the time it's just grinding it out and waiting and finding the probability that you want to see. So we're going to see you folks tomorrow. We've got a really good guest tomorrow. It's going to be Bob Miner. So he'll be fine. And then we're going to have Alfie Lavoie on Friday, okay? So we'll be back tomorrow. Live every day in an attitude of gratitude, and may God bless.
Building wealth